Welcome back, Lancers. Today we are back again with another video on patterns. So basically we have covered two videos on patterns. First one was the basic pattern programs. Second was pattern programs with some tricks into it. And now this video is all about tricky patterns that need much more logic and understanding than a normal patterns do. Now let us see what we will cover in this video. In this video, first of all, we will revise what is pattern and how we achieve to print that pattern in C program. After that, we will program few tricky patterns. Also, we will understand the logic behind the tricky patterns so that we can not only program that pattern but also imagine the basic working of that pattern, how the program is working to print that pattern. So now, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So here we start our revision on pattern. So basically, what is pattern? Pattern is something figure like this, or you can say basically pattern is a shape formed by few symbols combining or printing together using for loop. Meanwhile, in C language we use nested for loop to print any of the patterns. So let's see. First of all, let's see this example. Here we have, it is a two-dimensional shape. So let's make grids. Yes, now we can see that this is a two-dimensional shape. That is why we are using nested for loop. And now what is nested for loop? Nested for loop is a for loop inside a for loop. Let us say if we have a pattern something like this, what we have to do? As it is a 1D array or 1D shape, we just have to use one for loop. But in this case, as it is a 2D shape, that is why we are using nested for loop, that is a loop inside a loop. Now let us see what we really do during the pattern printing. First of all, we take two variables, I and j. What are these variables? These variables are index variable of a position in this shape. Let us say this plus symbol has a shape position of 1 1. This one has 1 2 2 1 2 2. Similarly here 2 3 3 1, here 4 1, here 5 1, here 5 2, 5 3, 5 4, 5 5. Similarly here also 3 2, 3 3, 3 4 2, 4 3, and 4 4. So basically this is the indexing of a shape. We are just indexing every symbol of present in that shape. Also, we have to imagine that each line is represented by a value of I. So let us say here I and here j. So in the program, first the loop of I occurs, that is the upper loop is of I loop, and inside that there is a for loop. So we can say that for each single iteration of I loop there is a complete iteration of j loop. This is what pattern printing is. You see here, when I becomes 1, the j loop loops one time. You see printing here. After that it goes to the next line, and then I becomes 2, and j loop continues to loop until 2 iterations, and they print these two symbols, and then it goes to new line, and this pattern goes on like this while printing this shape. behind. Now let's move to the tricky questions we were talking about. Our first question is this one. Okay, this is looking like it's easy, but it is not actually. You can pause the video and try to program it yourself. If you can, it is very good. But if you cannot, don't worry, we are here to help you. So here, let's first make grids to understand it better. Now, after making grids, you can see we have basically two shapes. As we all know that printing starts from this side to and ends till go to that side. That is why we can ignore these. But we have two shapes. First one is this one, and second one is this one. So in this type of program or in this type of pattern, we have few terms that we have to understand first. So first term is minimum star, or you can say here minimum. What is this minimum? It is the number of star or the number of symbol in the first line. Here minimum is 1. Now the second term that we have to understand is pyramid's height. In this pattern, what is the height of this pyramid? Let's count then. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So pyramid height is 5 here. And last, it is pyramid space. This one is new, because what is pyramid space? Actually, pyramid space is the number of the space here. This one is the pyramid space. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here pyramid space starts from 4. Now you can see the relation between pyramid height and pyramid space. It is pyramid space is equals to pyramid height minus 1. Basically, we will use these relations in our program. Now let us understand how we will program this one. First of all, we will make a for loop. Let's say this is our for loop of I. This is a I loop. In the I, we have to start, we already know what is I. I is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So basically, I will start from 0 to pyramid height, or you can say number of here you can see in this case we have pyramid height of 5. So our for loop for I index will be looping from 0 till it becomes pyramid height, that is 5 times here. Now let's see next what we have to do. Inside that for of I loop, that is I loop, we have two loops. One is for loop for j and one is for loop for k. Remember, these are not inside each other, but both the j loop and k loop are inside I loop. One of these loop will help us to print these spaces and other loop will help us to print this pattern. Okay, now you will say why we are interested to print these spaces. Basically, these spaces are important, otherwise all these stars or you can say all these symbols will shift from here to here, from here to here, and this will make a mess over here. This will not make the pyramid which we wanted to print. So we have to make two loop here, j and k. J will start from, what is j? J is the loop to print this space part, this one. So to print this space part, let us first mark this one. By j loop we are printing this part. So basically what we will do here in the j loop, we will start, okay, let's just change the color here. So in j loop we will start from p space here, we have already seen that p space is 4 here. So you can see the loop goes from 4 here, you can see 4 spaces, here you can see 3 spaces, here you can see 2 spaces, here 1, and then 0. So what we have understand with that p space, for j loop we will start it from p space, what that is pyramid space, and loop until it becomes I. Now what this let us see. In the first line, I value is 1. We already know that. In the first line, the value of p space is 4. We also know that. So now the loop of j says that p spaces from p spaces to I. You see here, it will run from here 4, 3, 2, and 1, and the value of I is 1. So after that it will end here. After, when I value, let us say I value is 3. In this case, what will happen? Let us see that when I value is 3, it is already said that j loop will run from p space to I value. So you see here, we just have to iterate this j loop until it becomes 3, that is 4 and 3 in this 3 part, in this when I is equals to 3. When I is equals to 4, then p space will print only once, that is 4 here. This is what is all we are talking about. P spaces actually are very important here to print this space part, this shape. And what is we are doing with p spaces? P spaces are looping from starting from p space, that is j loop is starting from p space and ending till I loop, which is making sure that we are getting a shape something like this. Now we have got these spaces, but what about this pyramid? What we have to do for that? Let us see that now. For that we have our k loop. What will k loop do? K loop will help us to print this pattern. Now how it will do print this pattern? Let us first make this screen clear for a second. Now let us see. We have already printed this part using our space or the j loop. What we have seen? We have seen that it will start from p space whose value is 4, and it will iterate till I. What is I? I is a value here which we have start from 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is how I is going on. Now let us see what is k. So basically k is used to print this part. And now how we will print that? Let us see. In k part, we will start it from 0 till minimum star. You will say how it will work. Let us see now. In this case, when I is 0, what is happening? We will already initialize the minimum star is equals to 1. As we already know, in our first line there is only one symbol present. So from 0 to 1 iteration, that is one iteration, will print this symbol, and after that it will go to the next line. After that, what we have to do, we have to increase the value of minimum star with +2. That is, minimum star we will increase the value with 2, or we will add 2 to that number. That is, we will get 3 here. Then we will print 3 times, it will be iterating for 3 times, that is 0, 1, and 2. After that it will go to the next line. Then it will iterate 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Why? Because the value of m, that is the minimum star, is increasing by 2 in each step. So this is what this pattern is all about. Now let us program this pattern in VS Code so that we can understand the concept of programming also. If you are not clear with the concept of this pattern, please watch the video again. You will surely do understand that. So here we are back with the VS Code, and we will program the tricky question number 1 of the pattern printing. Okay, and we have understand the basic concept in the theory part, so let us program it as fast as we can. Now let us take 3 variable, as we have already discussed. In this we have to take 3 variable I, j and k, and then the basic terminologies. First one was int minimum star is 1 in our question. Second one is, you can say it, yes, it is pyramid space, and it is pyramid space is equals to pyramid height minus 1. And what is pyramid height? We have not declared it. Pyramid height is equals to 5 in our case. So this is what basic declaration for this pattern printing. Now let us see the for loops. For I is equals to 0, I will be starting from 0, and I less than p height, p height. Also I will be increasing. You see in this pattern, I is increasing from each iteration. In each line I is increasing 1 2 3 4 5, and after that there will be 2 for loops. One will be of j, and it will start from p space. It will start from p space, but it will end before, or you can say in I, and here j plus plus. Inside that, what we have to do, this is the for loop to print our spaces before the pattern. You see here, these are the spaces before the pattern, and here you can see the pattern. For that pattern we will use the loop of k. So k will start from 0, and k will be ending till minimum star in each line. In the example, or you can say in the first line, it is starting from 0 and it is ending from 1, that is, it is printing 1 symbol. In the second line, it is starting from 0 and it will end in 3. So for that we have to alter in our program something like this. First of all, we end this k loop, and here we have to print the symbol. In our case it is star, not star, it is plus of it. And now, very important here, that minimum star will be changed to here something like this, minimum star plus 2. You can also write like this, minimum star plus equals to 2. These both are same. You can use any one of these. Let us first comment one of these. Now our basic program is ready. Just we have to add a new line so that our pattern will be printed in the perfect figure. And now let's just run this program, hitting the run button. Okay, there is an error here. It is printing error, or you can see it is printing an infinite loop. It is going on an infinite loop. Let's just stop this one and see what is the error. Error should be in the space part. So let's see. J is starting from p space. Okay, here as j is here, there is a slight mistake here, that it should be minus minus. Now you will say why? Because you see what was happening, it was starting from p space, and basically the p space value was 4 here, because p height minus 1, then p space become 4, and p space 4 was increasing after each iteration. And after increasing, it was going something like this: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it goes on like this. And because it was not matching, or this condition was not becoming false, the iteration was going on in infinite loop. This was our error. Now let's just run this one. Now it should perfectly fine. Yeah, you see our pattern is perfectly fine now. Now let's move to the second question. So our next pattern is something like this. Okay, this also seems quite interesting, but also we are little confused how we will do that. Agree or not? I do agree. Let us see now how we will program this pattern. Now let us first make the grids. Okay, now you will say why we are making grids here. Actually, grids are very important to visualize this pattern, so that we can make the concepts behind, we find the logic and the concept behind the pattern which are hidden inside it. To program the pattern from ourselves, we have to first make the logic, and then we have to start programming. Now let us see. First of all, we will now first of all we will start the program. Let us see what we observe from this diagram. First, ignore this line. Okay, you see we have a space grid here, or you can say a space pattern here, in which we have to print space. For that we have to take one loop. In this, here is the another pattern. For this also we have to make one loop, and for the entire thing we have to make one loop of I. So basically the concept here is also the same as we have done in the previous video, that there will be a I loop. Let us change the color. Let us see, there will be a for loop of I. Inside that there will be two for loop. First one is for j, where the spaces are printed, and second one will be of k, where the pattern, that is the number, are printed. Now let us see how we'll make this program. Here also we have to understand the basic terminology of a pattern. The basic terminology includes pyramid's height. So what is the pyramid's height here? This is not included in the pyramid. So basic height is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So pyramid height is 4 here. Now again, what we have to see? We have to see the width. In this case we have to also see the width. So here width is 7. In the first line it is 7. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the second line it is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the third line it is 3, and then it is 1. So you see it is decreasing by 2. And also you can see the number of width, what is the width? The value of width is only printed in that line. You see here the width of the first line is 7, and we are printing 7 times. The width of this second line is 5, and we are printing 5 times. This is what happening behind the scene. You have to understand the logic behind. So let us see. First we have the height, which we have counted as 4. Then we have the width, which we have counted as first one, in the first line it is 7, in the second line it is 5. Okay, now you can see there is a common thing, or you can say a basic logic behind this pattern, which we have to understand here. What the relation between height and width? What is the relation between height and width? You see in the first line, the height is 4 and the width is 7. So you can see when we multiply height with 2 and then subtract 1, we are getting the width of that value. That is here 4 into 2 8, 8 minus 1 7. Let's check this in the second line. In the second line we have 1 2 3 4 5 width. Here height is 3. You can see height from here 1 2 and 3, and width is 5. Let's check the hypothesis that we have made here, that is height into 2 minus 1 will give us the width. Let's see, height is 3 into 2 becomes 6 and minus 1 becomes 5. Oh great, we have got the logic behind. Now let's just see what is happening. In our for loop here, in our for loop you see the value of in I loop will start from p height, that is here you see, and it will end till 1. Now you will say why? Because you see here first it is 4 and then it is the height is 4 and then it is 3, then it is 2 and then it is 1. So basically it is going decreasing 1 with each line. So that is why we are here writing from p height it is decreasing till 1. Now in the space part, what we can see that p space value is same in the, we have learned in our previous program that p space value is height minus 1, and here also it is the case. You can see here the maximum height is 4 and the maximum space we need is 3, but in this case we have first it is starting from 1, then it is 2 and then it is 3. So we have to loop our J loop, that is printing spaces, something like this. It will start from p space and it will end till I. This gives the relation between I and J, and also the spaces here will be printed. Now the spaces are covered, the I loop is covered. Now the only basic concept is left is the K. So how we have to print K? It is very simple, you know. First of all, K we have to start it with 1 and it will run until it becomes the width. So here you can see we have find the value of width as 7 and we have to just run it as 1 2 3 4 until 7. And what we have to print, we have already seen that we have to print the value of width here. So this is what all we need to understand this pattern. So here we are back to our second question. In our second question we have to print a pattern of a reverse pyramid. You can see here, and it is printing some numbers like 7 7 7 7 7 times, 5 5 5 5 5 times, 3 3 3 3 3 times, and 1 1 times. So let us see, we have already discussed that in our theory part, that we first of all we have to declare our initial, that is, let's say first one is p height, and in our case it is 4. Then a new term, that is the width here, will be, we have find our we had find our hypothesis, which was p height into 2, okay, and minus 1. Users, yes, okay, this was width. Now let's take the p space here, that the pyramid space, which will help us to print our space part, and it always smaller than p height by 1. And then we have to take our index variables like I, J and K. Also you can see, you should know that we can use any variable, we are not bounded that we have to use I or J or K, something like that. We can use A, B, C, you can use any of the variables. Now let's start the program. For that program we have discussed that we have for loop, and first of all it will the I loop, that is I loop will start from p height and it will end until it becomes 1 equals to 1, and then I minus minus, sorry, here. Now inside that we have two loops for j and for k. Now let's end this j loop. J loop is for the space part, that is why it will start from p space and j will end till 1, sorry, I. As it is decreasing, it will be j minus minus, not plus plus. In our previous example we have done the mistake and we have seen that it will go in the infinite loop, and here we have to print here this space part. Now what we have to print in the second part, k part? K part is for the pyramid, that is why we have to start it from 1, and also k should end until it becomes the width. You see here it is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 1 2 3 4 5 6 sorry 5, 1 2 3 1. This is what is going in the k value, and k should be plus plus, not minus minus, of course. And then here we have also seen in the theory part that we have to actually print the width of our number. That is, you see here, when the width is 7 we have to print 7 times, when width is 5 we have to print the 5 times, and it goes on. Also width is as width is an integer type, we have to use ampersand %d, and then here we will use width. Okay, now it's done. It should run fine. Let's run the program. Okay, here it is going something like this. It is not showing the perfect output here. Let's see why. First mistake that we have done, we have not provided the space part. So for that we have to provide the space part here. Sorry, okay, we have provided the space. Now you see the width value is decreasing with each iteration. Let us say in this shape, you see first the width value is 7, second the width value is 5, but nowhere in this program we have discussed that. So for that we will just here write width is equals to minus equals to 2, that is we are decreasing it with 2, and printf here. Yeah, it's fine now. Let's run this one now. Okay, you see we have printed the pattern perfectly fine, and this is what we all wanted to. Now we will wrap this video with a big smile because we have completed our pattern part in the programming. Further, whenever we will do some programming sessions, we will surely take few questions from pattern printing, as these are the most important and most logical problems. Also, this is not the end of for loop programs. We will do the practice sessions many times between these C tutorial series. If you really like our video, please give us a thumbs up. If you do want to see videos like these in our future, please subscribe us. Also comment down and share these videos with your friends to help them in that C tutorial series. The technology is beyond our imagination. Let's unfold it. Peace.